Hi, Falcons. Welcome back to school. We're going to start off this year by continuing our math ACT videos. We did see an increase in our score last year, so we're hoping that we can continue to see more increase. I'll be doing some geometry problems today, so let's go ahead and share the screen so we can get to it. Okay, so the problem I'm going to be working is actually asking about midway along this park area. So let's read it. A park has a shape and dimensions and blocks given below. A water fountain is located halfway between point B and D. Let's go ahead and trace out that line they're talking about right there. And they want to know which of the following is the location of the water fountain from point A. So we're actually going to be starting from here and moving over east to north, but we need to find out where this point's located to help us with that. So the first thing you need to do is we have to find how much it is from B to C, how much it is from C to D, so we can get this kind of halfway point here. Well, that's pretty easy to do if you look over here at F to A. So F to A is 12. And if you notice this whole piece right here is 3, which would also be what this would be. So 12 minus 3 is going to give us the length of CB. And that's going to be 9. And then same reasoning with the 10 here at AB. If you kind of think about transferring this line up here, it would span this entire length where we know this part of it was 7. So 10 minus 7 will give us the other piece we need, CD. Well, now it's pretty easy to go halfway because 3 over and 9 up would be all the way. So I want to do half of that. So over 1.5 and up 4.5 would get me to that midway point. Now, that's none of the choices because what they want you to do is to travel from A, go east and north, and say how much it would be to get to that point from A. Well, it's going to be one of these two because those are the only two that go 4.5 blocks north, but we just have to figure out which one of the two it is. Well, if you go from A to this point, it's 10 minus 1.5. And so that's going to give us our answer. 8.5 blocks east and 4.5 blocks north would take us over and up to this location. So it really just becomes a learning how to read this figure and transfer numbers, and then read the question carefully, of course, to get the right answer. All right, if I scoot up, I did one just exactly like this for you to try down here at the bottom, but I also did one that I want you to try as well. And it's just simply asking for perimeter. So if you remember, perimeter means just add up all the outside around the shape. So there are 6 sides here. So be careful that you transfer the knowledge like we did earlier to get the other 2 sides because you're given 4 of the 6. And then, like I said, this one at the bottom is going to be exactly like what I did, just I made up some new numbers. So if you would get your teacher to pause the video, we'll check your answers in just a second. Okay, so before I actually start working these problems, we are trying to move up into some of the past 1 through 20. 1 through 20 are typically the easy problems. But if you notice, this is 51 on a practice test. But I think you're going to see that this is a really simple problem if you know how to transfer the numbers like we did earlier. So let's do that. So we need to find this missing piece here and this vertical side here. So let's do this missing piece first. This whole bigger length here is 4. We know this is 3. 4 minus 3 is going to give us that little section of 1. You have to have that now to do the perimeter. And then if you notice, this length here can be made up of this section plus this section. So 2 plus 1 is 3. Now you just need to add up those 6 numbers. Doesn't matter where you start. I'm just going to start right here at this first number. So and go around clockwise. 1 plus 4 plus 3 plus another 3 plus 2 plus 1, and we should be done. 6 sides, 6 numbers. And then because addition is commutative, you can really combine these numbers any way you want. I'm just going to take them 3 at a time and 3 at a time. 4 plus 3 plus 1 is 8. And 3 plus 2 plus 1 is 6. Those added together make 14. So the choice was D. Now you do have to be careful because if you notice there's 13 here. If you left this little piece off, which sometimes students will, then you would end up getting 13 accidentally. So be real careful as you do perimeter and make sure you're adding all of the sides. Okay, and then the other one is going to be very similar to the problem that we did. Now, I did just kind of randomly change these numbers, so you're going to notice the picture won't be drawn to scale, but let's just do the math of it to see what we get here. CB is going to be 12 minus 2, so that's going to be 10. And then DC is going to be 19 minus 9. Again, I know that the picture doesn't look like that's 10, but just because I randomly made up these numbers, don't go by the picture. Just do the math. Now, to get halfway, if you have a sides of 10 and 10, well, that's easy. That's just going to be 5 this way and 5 north. So we know we're going 5 west, if you will, and 5 north. Well, again, there's asking the same question coming from point A. How's that going to look? So we know it's going to be 5 north. We can go ahead and write that down. We really need to find how much we're going east, just like before. Well, if from A to B is 19 east, and we're not going this extra 5, we can just do 19 minus 5 to get 14. So we would end up going 14 units east and 5 up north to get to that same distance. So I hope you see that these are not the most difficult problems, but geometry, like I said, is really important. It's 40% typically of the ACT. So it's really important you go back and relook at some of these figures and vocab, what perimeter is and things like that. And I'll try to find y'all something tomorrow that's also a little more geometry, maybe parallelograms. So I hope you have a good day, and I'll see y'all tomorrow.